feel judged.
Good. I'm judging you. What's happening, everybody? It's Justin from the Delish Test Kitchen, and if you can't tell by all the gourds and pumpkins and squashes up on the shelf, it is autumn. It is the start of the holiday season. I'm wearing a cute little festive sweater, and that means we're gonna be bringing a ton of staple and our favorite holiday recipes to you, and we're starting today with one of the best. It is kind of like the gateway to a ton of really amazing holiday recipes like pies, casseroles, side dishes, and that is a baked sweet potato. It seems like a crazy simple proposition, roasting a sweet potato, but there are a couple things that we're gonna talk through so that it is a no-fail, no-problem process for you on your holiday. The last thing you wanna be doing is dealing with burnt sweet potatoes or a mess in your oven. So let's get into it. Before we even talk about being in the kitchen, before we talk about like touching these sweet potatoes, we need to talk about shopping. We need to talk about like the truly dozens of varieties of sweet potatoes that you can find out there. There are Beauregard sweet potatoes, red garnets, Hernandez, white sweet potatoes, purple sweet potatoes, and I know you're looking at me and you're saying like, I've only seen one type of sweet potato in my market growing up. It's probably because you've only seen like either the Jewels, the red garnets, or the Beauregards. Those are like the classic kind of like this looking and this looking sweet potato that you're used to seeing in the market. But I wanted to introduce you to some really amazing other ones that I also like to use. We have the Japanese sweet potato that has a gorgeous purple skin on the outside, but is nice and tan on the inside. These white sweet potatoes will be a little less sweet, kind of give a different color. It can be a surprise when like if you make a sweet potato casserole with this and then people are like, why isn't it orange? It's because you're using a white sweet potato. But we're going to be focusing on the classics today.
Are sweet potatoes yams?
Okay, guys, listen for once and for all. Sweet potatoes and yams are very, very different vegetables. They're like technically both tubers, which is one of my favorite food words, but they're like very different. They taste different, they look different. Yams are usually bigger, they're grown in totally different conditions. They're not as sweet, but colloquially, in a lot of kitchens, we have grown to consider sweet potatoes yams. So I'm not gonna judge you if you call it like a roasted or baked yam, but I'm gonna tell you that you're lying to yourself.
I feel judged.
Good. I'm judging you. Typically, a sweet potato is gonna look like this and a yam is gonna look like this. And I didn't find a yam at the grocery store, so I'm hoping one of our very nice editors will do it. If not, I'm just doing one of these. Regardless of which sweet potato that you pick here, you're gonna roast them the same way. When we're shopping, we wanna be considering a couple things. We want uniform size, that way we're not just like pulling different potatoes out of the oven at different times when they're done at the correct doneness. And we wanna be looking for firm, like there should be no give to a sweet potato. They should be a consistent color. There should be like no major nicks, cuts, cracks. They should just look like a normal, beautiful sweet potato that you're used to seeing. Here's the thing you might not have known. Sweet potatoes are grown in the dirt. And when they take them from the dirt to the farm to the grocery store, they don't wash them, which is silly when you consider like so much of the other produce that we get is pre-washed, but I digress. We gotta wash our sweet potatoes. You should do this over the sink in a bowl with water. You wanna just get any of like the major dirt, dust, particulate off of there because that will be translated into your mouth if you don't do so. There's a couple ways that you could do this. You could use your grubby little fingers like I usually do. You could buy like one of those like fancy veggie scrubbers, which I think are like kind of a waste of money, but you do you. And then honestly, one of my favorite tools is just a very clean kitchen sponge. This can do wonders on a potato. You can see just how dirty of the potatoes are with how they left this water. It was a clean bowl and now there's like particulate and other dirt and dust on there. So you wanna really make sure that you're scrubbing because we wanna highlight all those like nutty caramelized flavors of the sweet potato. We don't wanna taste dirt.
Hey Justin.
What's up?
Okay, I have a question from one of our YouTube commenters. How do you avoid the sticky mess that sweet potatoes can make in the oven?
I avoid the sticky mess that we make in the oven by using tin foil, but it's not in the way that you usually think about when you're making a baked potato. We're not gonna wrap it around it. I think that wrapping the sweet potato in foil actually creates kind of like a steam oven, which is totally fine. It actually can lead to like a little bit more even cooking, but I want to prioritize like the roasty, toasty, caramelized flavors and the bit of like the crispity, crackly skin we get on the outside. So instead, we're gonna place some tin foil directly onto a sheet tray, and that will catch any of the like liquidy, caramelly bits that come out of the potato while it's roasting. And that way you can just like crumple it up and throw it away. Easy cleanup.
YouTube commenter Kelsey asks, is it better to poke holes in the sweet potato or slice the tops for baking?
Oh, interesting. Poking or slicing the top. Well, first of all, the reason why people like to poke or slice sweet potatoes is because these are basically little like pressure bombs when they get cooked, whether that's in the microwave or in the oven. There's gonna be water that is going to be evaporating and turning into steam inside this potato. If we don't give it a way to escape, literally a sweet potato can like explode in your oven, and we definitely want to avoid that. I've never heard of slicing the tops off of potatoes, though I bet that would work. I don't love it because it's gonna expose the flesh more directly to the oven, and we still wanna create like a little bit of that like natural convection oven that exists within the skin. So I like to just like poke it 4 or 5 times pretty deep in the potato, and that should work. We could chuck these in the oven right now as is, and if you're using these for like another application and you just need the insides of the sweet potato, you don't need oil. But if you want to eat these fully roasted with the skin on, or you're using the skin in any way, you're going to want to use a little bit of olive oil. That's going to promote a little bit of crispiness and brownness on the outside of the potato that makes them taste even better. So get in there, get olive oil all around the potatoes, and then we can move over to our oven. Look at these glistening sweet potato babies. My oven's been preheating to 425. I'm gonna get these into the middle rack, and then we're just gonna shut it and let them go for about 45 to 50 minutes. Don't even need to touch them. They're gonna be totally fine on their own. They're gonna get crispy, golden, delicious, caramelly, amazing, nutty, fluffy, perfect. Don't touch them. 45, 50 minutes. Bye. The potatoes have been going for about 50 minutes. Oh yeah, these look insane. I love on a baked potato that's been rubbed with oil, you get this like beautiful sheen and like a wrinkly, like crinkle cutty skin. I love just cutting them open, getting them nice and cozy, and giving a big pat of butter and a sprinkling of salt. And what's amazing about this is that they taste really good, but they're also super good for you because they're a superfood. People talk about like pumpkin spice and cinnamon and mace and nutmeg being the smells of fall. This is the smell of fall to me. That like slightly earthy, nutty, sweet smell of a root vegetable just like this. It's like tantalizing. It makes me want to like, I basically want to like shrink myself down and nestle myself in between the little halves of these sweet potatoes. It smells amazing. When I dug my knife in, it went in so smoothly. That's how you know it's gonna be like perfectly textured on the inside. I love it. I love it. Potato itself is pillowy, tender, perfectly textured. And when you taste it and put it in your mouth, you're gonna immediately get like, not just from the pat of butter, but from the potato itself, a butteriness that's like irresistible. And you get a little bit of roasty, toasty, caramelized flavors. But wait, there's more. I have a hypothesis that leftovers are the most important part of a holiday meal. Obviously, like, I think there's too much on the table for you to enjoy everything. It's when you're pulling things out of the fridge that you can really take your time to enjoy and appreciate a particular dish. So for the next couple of weeks, when we show you these holiday staples, we're gonna be showing you amazing alternative leftover recipes that we love and we think you should use. I'm gonna show you how to make sweet potato gnocchi with a maple bacon herb sauce. Sweet potato gnocchi is amazing. Just how you have like the pillowy inside of a potato, you can create that like chewy, perfect texture using just like the inside scraped bits of the potato. We're gonna take either like a fork or a potato masher or a ricer, scoop out the insides of the potato, get them nice and smooth. Then I'm gonna mix it up with a couple spices, egg, maple syrup, and a little bit of whole wheat flour and regular flour. I love how the nuttiness in the whole wheat flour kind of mirrors the like toasty, roasty flavors in the sweet potato itself. It's delicious. We're gonna mix that up until we have a dough, chill it for about like 30 minutes, then we're gonna bring it out, roll it out into a cute little log, and cut them into cute little baby gnocchi pillows. If you want, you can take a fork and you can roll it over it to get those like iconic gnocchi edges. Then you're gonna put them in a pot of boiling water for like 2 to 3 minutes just so that they're nice and cooked. Then we're gonna make our sauce. We're gonna start with some diced bacon, Then we're gonna add in some bourbon and some honey and some sage, which is obvious. It's like sweet potato's best friend. Mix everything up and you have a really quick and easy and impressive leftover dish. This is incredible. This isn't my recipe, full disclosure, it's June's, and it is like impeccable. It comes together so well. I was shocked. Like, you understand conceptually that gnocchi comes from potatoes, but you assume, or I assume, it's like this hard process. But it was super, super easy, came together quickly, and it's an amazing thing to like, you already just impressed your entire family with a Thanksgiving dinner, and then you go ahead and do this with leftovers the next day. They'll fall in love with you 10 times over. There's so much going on here. You get the sweetness and like the slight whiskey flavor from the sauce. The texture of the gnocchi is perfecto. It's like chewy, but also like not too dense. And it has, because we fried it in that baking fat, it's seared on the outside. It's exactly what you're looking for. And you get that little bit of like umami punch at the end with the parm, and then you need the sage. The sage is what's gonna pull it all together. It's what really makes this feel like a holiday dish. You tell me you'd rather make like a Thanksgiving sandwich than this meal right here. I don't think you can. The recipe for this gnocchi is gonna be down in the description. Making all this food has put me into like a little bit of a festive mood. So for more simple holiday recipes just like this one, all season long, head on over to delish.com.